posting back to you once it's done.
Okay.
Okay, I'm allowing recording. Make sure this is connected. Okay, that's what's happening. NHI Bahamas. Here.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the National Health Insurance Authority, I would like to take this time to welcome each and every one of you who took the time to log on to our call today and to attend our monthly beneficiary educational session. This is very important to us, and so we are encouraging you to share the link amongst your family and friends and invite them to either join the Zoom meeting room or they can also view live via Facebook at NHI Bahamas. Today, we are blessed with the presence of Dr. Ann Rolle. As February is observed globally as Heart Health Month, Dr. Ann Rolle is here to speak to us on the topic, Building Heart Healthy Communities. Before we turn the mic over to Dr. Ann Rolle, we would like to welcome you and we would like to speak to you about what is the NHI Bahamas program. At the National Health Insurance Authority, our vision statement is to lead the way in providing access to affordable, quality healthcare that Bahamians deserve. Our mission statement, we are transforming the healthcare system upon which the future well-being of Bahamians depend by putting patients at the center of every decision we make. Also at the National Health Insurance Authority, we are passionate about bringing universal health care to all Bahamians. We are progressive and relentless in expanding access to quality health care through progressive solutions that are supported by technology. We thrive on partnerships. We operate with integrity, and so we're committed to doing business with integrity, accountability, transparency, and sincerity. And we honor our beneficiaries by providing care and respect in all aspects of our services. And so at the National Health Insurance Authority, a part of our wellness program, we are dedicated to creating a platform where beneficiaries and the public at large are educated and encouraged on adopting healthy lifestyles. And we like to promote 3 tenets. The first one is that we encourage incorporating exercise and physical activity into our daily routine. We want our beneficiaries and the public to understand that food should be their medicine. and we want them to focus on their mental, emotional, and spiritual health. We know that the health of our nation is the wealth of our nation. And so we want to ensure that Bahamians understand the importance of living a well-balanced life. And so where are we now at the National Health Insurance Authority in the NHI Bahamas program? Since our inception in 2017, we have worked so hard to deliver on this vision and to advance the path of universal healthcare coverage throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Our enrollment growth, we currently enrolled over 160,000 plus Bahamian citizens and residents. Our demographics is diverse. We serve a diverse demographic of Bahamians who've enrolled from more than 17 islands. This demographic also included more than 7,000 plus Bahamians under the age of 5 and more than 30,000 school-age children. And we call these individuals our pediatric population. And we also see an enrollment growth of over 20,000 plus beneficiaries over the age of 65. And this is our precious pearls. 96% of our beneficiaries enrolled in the program have informed us that they are satisfied with the services that they are receiving. Our provider network is expansive. We currently boast that we're in partnership with 139 physicians across 88 primary care facilities across 8 islands throughout our Commonwealth. And we're also in partnership with 14 major labs spread across 21 locations. As a part of our journey towards universal health care coverage, we have significantly invested in technology. And so we've digitally enabled our electronic health records as well as our telehealth feature, which is applicable for visits with our providers within our network. February observed as Heart Health Month. Heart Health Month causes us to pause and reflect on the state of our cardiovascular system. This afternoon, Dr. Ann Rule is here on the call to speak to us on the topic, building heart healthy communities. Dr. Ann Rule is an holistic nutrition practitioner who helps busy professional women to lose weight without dieting. She has a PhD in holistic nutrition and is passionate about helping women cultivate healthy, satisfying relationships with their food, their bodies, and their environment so that they achieve transformative results beyond just weight loss. And so we want to open the floor to Dr. Ann Rule to present to us, to provide us some heart healthy tips on how we can build heart healthy communities. During Dr. Rule's presentation, should you have any questions, we ask that you place your questions in the chat feature on the Zoom app, as well as on the Facebook app, and we'll happily read those questions to Dr. Rule during the question and answer segment after her presentation. Dr. Rule, welcome, you are on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer. It's good to be here, and happy February. Most of us had Valentine recently. I hope you all had a very good Valentine, because today we're going to look at the other side of Valentine. My role is to talk about building heart-healthy communities. Yes, but did you know that heart disease is the #1 killer worldwide for persons? Yes, and it's preventable because they're called lifestyle diseases. Our hearts are the engine of our bodies. And any engine, they need the care, they need maintenance, and the right fuel to keep running strong. February is Heart Awareness Month, making it the perfect time to focus on building heart-healthy communities, not just for ourselves, but for our families, our workplaces, schools, and neighborhoods. So I want you to sit back and imagine that. Imagine your body is like a city of New Providence. The roads are your blood vessels. The power supply is your oxygen and nutrients taking it to your main section. And your heart is the city's control center, the engine, the powerhouse that keeps everything running smoothly. Yes. So if the roads or the arteries get blocked, like traffic slows down, you know, we all been in traffic jams and what it feels like, leading to congestion. That's how heart disease builds up in our body because there is no clear path. And if the power supply, which is your oxygen and nutrients, if it's weak, symptoms fail. That's how poor circulation, poor nutrition affects our heart function. And if the city headquarters or control center, your heart, isn't maintained, the entire system struggles. Just like stress, high blood pressure, and poor lifestyle, they all impact our hearts. So, just as every city needs a solid infrastructure, every one of us needs a strong, resilient heart. Yet heart disease is the #1 killer in the world, and especially for women. Yes, women, heart disease kills more women than cancer. So today we are going to explore. Let's look at the risk factors for heart disease. We can't have healthy communities if you don't know how we're going to manage it. We look at the risk factors. Understanding women's unique heart disease risk, because it's different. And the 4 pillars of healthcare. Simple, heart-friendly activities that would help us to gain some more information going forward. How we can make heart health a community movement in the workplace, in the schools, in the churches, and beyond, and in our homes. So let's understand what heart health is. It refers to maintaining a strong, efficient, and circulatory system by understanding your risk, making healthy choices, and taking the steps to reduce your chances of getting heart disease. What are some of the risk factors? Maybe as I call them, you may find that one of those resonates with you because it's so common. And it is said that most people have 1 or 2 of those risk factors that can put them on the road to heart disease. We look at high blood pressure, the silent killer, increases heart disease risk. What happens after that? The kidney, we end up with kidney disease, then dialysis. And you know the cost of those is extremely expensive. Those are preventable. High cholesterol leads to clogged arteries. Unhealthy diet and lack of exercise, they're major contributors to heart disease. Say, I eat, yes, but I eat clean. But what are you eating? Is it supporting that heart or the engine of your body? Stress, lack of sleep, negatively impact our heart function. And stress is a really big thing. Obesity, depression, family history of heart disease. And you are not your genetic destiny, because most time it says, oh, it's in my family. Yes, it's in your family, but you know what? Research tells us it's 10% genetic, 90% lifestyle. So we could make some changes. We may not be able to get it all right, but once you're on the path of improving your health, trying to reverse or reduce heart disease, you would be in a good standing. Then we have smoking and excessive alcohol use. It damages the blood vessels and increases our risk. Age, yes, age. And as women age, we are more at risk for heart disease. What are your risks? Most adults have 2 or more of those risks I mentioned. Are you in that lot? What changes are you planning to make? Let's look at the women's impact, heart disease on women. We are different from men. Silent symptoms. Women experience the fatigue, sudden dizziness, heartburn like feeling, symptoms like cold sweat, back pain, unusual tiredness, nausea and vomiting. A few years ago, I lost a really good friend from heart disease. She was hypertensive, at 51, but she was treating herself for indigestion. Oh, the indigestion is really getting to me. And for a while, she was treating herself with indigestion. Unfortunately, that unfortunate morning at 3 o'clock, she ended up in the emergency section of the hospital. Right after that, she had her first heart attack. They were able to resuscitate her. She came through. And 2 hours later, she succumbed to another heart attack. So women, be aware that heart disease is different for us as compared to the men. The men have the typical, most common in the chest, discomfort. Yes, but we are different. So we need to know what our signs and symptoms are. And what is it that put us at risk? Because when we are at risk, we need to know how are we going to manage? What are some of the things? We are always stressed out doing multiple tasks as women, breadwinners, 2, 3 jobs, running the home. Most times we neglect ourselves. And when you neglect yourself, what happens? Certain things have to go undone. And most of the times it's our health. So be mindful. This is Heart Month. And we just celebrated it by a time of love. Let's start to love ourselves some more, but do it in a tangible way. Be intentional with it. All right. Some women are more prone to autoimmune risk, higher autoimmune diseases. And emotional eating because of the stress, because of the weight. They get very depressed. I can't lose the weight. I'm back on yo-yo dieting, emotional eating. All that puts your heart at a higher risk because then the blood sugar comes on, the diabetes comes on, the blood pressure, and other hormonal issues as well. So we are not in a good place. I'm not saying that to put you in a fright mode, but most likely to raise your awareness, empower you. What do I need to do as a woman to reduce my chances in this day and age? I hope it resonates. And if we want to strengthen our communities, as we said, we must first take ownership of our heart health. And we'll look at 4 pillars of heart health. 1, Sawyer talked about movement. Keep the roads clear. Remember we said the arteries are your roads, right? The blood vessels. We have to keep that clear. We have to move, get more oxygen in, get out, walk, 30 minutes, moderate exercise. And do it in the mornings, especially because you get the sunshine and it helps to improve the quality of your movement, all right, your vitamin D. As we grow older, the bodies tend to change. So we got to change with the times. Strength training twice a week at least should help our metabolism and support our heart. Because a lot of times we just do cardio, but we need to get the strength training, the muscles, everything change as we grow older. And because we are in that stage as women, I'm going back to the women, after menopause, we don't have the estrogen to protect us anymore. So we are left on our own. So that's all the more reason why we really have to take ownership and be more intentional. So we need to move. Nutrition. As I said, the body changes. So you need to meet the body where it's at. Fuel in the city. We talk about the body is the city. What fuel are you putting in? Are you putting in good quality fuel or are you looking for diesel? No. You want to be mindful of what you eat. Build the body with whole foods, good quality proteins, healthy fats, whole grains, dark green leafy vegetables, all the colors of the rainbow, because they all provide different nutrients for your body. The seeds, the nuts, essential fatty acids, the fatty fish, maybe like salmon or sardine. We have to find out what our bodies need because we're all so different. Our bodies react differently, but you have to find your mix, what's mixed for you, okay? I talked about avoiding the diesel. Avoid the traffic jams. It's like the sugar. It's like a traffic jam. It's just going to jam up your blood vessels. So you want all the processed foods that you're eating, look and see what you're eating. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you digging your grave with your fork? Make some changes. So leave the processed foods or the sugary drinks, the excessive salt, the fried foods, the trans fats. And unfortunately, a lot of them are addictive. So you have to keep going back and back. But make some changes and decide, how am I going to move forward? This is February. We have December to go. What am I going to do at the end of the year? Am I going to be in the same state I was now? Having the blood pressure, blood sugar, the weight, you decide. Okay? The third, stress and sleep. Managing the city energy supply. All right, we need to sleep. We need to reduce the stress because stress is a big factor contributing to heart disease. So we want to do some deep breathing exercises, meditation, more walking, yoga, journaling, gratitude practice. Sometimes we just don't know how to be grateful. Start thinking of that. You can reduce your stress like that. Your sleep should be at least 7 to 9 hours. Preferably, we don't get all that, but you want quality sleep because when you sleep, the body repairs itself. And guess what? If you're trying to lose weight, you do better when you have better sleep. The weight comes off easier. All right. Because poor sleep increases your disease, your heart disease risk. So that's number 3. Number 4, lifestyle changes. That's a biggie. You're going to be clearing the pollution, the body, because a lot of things are going on. Your life has to go on, but stop. What do you want to change about your lifestyle? Remember, I said there are lifestyle diseases. Heart disease is a lifestyle disease. All those contributing factors create their lifestyle, and we have choices over that. If you're smoking, quit smoking. And another thing too, you may want to be aware that you may not be the smoker, but you're exposing yourself to secondhand smoke is just as bad or worse than the smoker because they have filters. So all that predisposes you to heart disease, and you might already have had a comorbidity, either high blood pressure or something going already. So that puts you at further risk. Encourage smoke-free homes and workplaces. You can take that on as a task. Know your numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, because so many times you meet people, oh, I've been to the doctor and I got my checkup. What's your checkup? What's up? He said everything is all right. What is all right? He said everything is all right. There's no normal all right number. You need to be educated. You know what number your blood pressure is supposed to be. So if it goes off, then you'd have an idea, well, it used to be, it's supposed to be this, but why is it? Start being more intentional about your own health. You have to take responsibility. You don't leave that in the doctor's office. Take control. There's some things you can do, learn more. Social media is so diverse now. We go to social media for everything. Now it's time you might want to do something for yourself, your heart. What are the things that put me further at risk? What can I do? I'm only touching the surface, but there's so much more. So know your blood pressure numbers, your cholesterol, your blood sugar. That could be pre-diabetes, because many people are just on the threshold of being diabetes. But you don't want to wait until you become diabetes to start taking medication and getting more treatment, because what happens, the organ's starting to damage prior to getting there. So you really want to be cognizant of your health. And those are your basic numbers that you really need to be knowledgeable about. So if anything happens, oh, my blood pressure is supposed to be 120. Say, what's happening now? 160? No. Take steps. Be enlightened. The other thing is take your medication as prescribed, especially the high blood pressure. That's a silent killer. Over the last few weeks, I've heard incidents, at least 4 young persons in their 40s coming down with stroke because of high blood pressure, non-compliant. They're not taking the medication. It's a silent killer. You don't know when that's going to strike. And unfortunately, some men decide to take themselves off because of the side effects. Then go to your doctor and say, listen, doc, things aren't working. Could you change it for me, please? This ain't working. But for God's sake, do not just cold turkey stop your medication, because the time you stop might be the time you're just going to get a stroke, a heart attack, aneurysm. It could be anything. But we have to take responsibility. We're talking about building healthy communities. We can't build a community if ourselves if we're breaking down on the inside. How are we going to do that? And while I'm talking about medication, don't talk about the pink pill and the yellow pill and the white pill. The names are on it. When you go for your prescription, ask in the pharmacy, what is the name of this? Write that down so you know exactly, I am on this tablet. I can tell you the name of it or that tablet. Not the white pill or the pink pill. The days for that gone. We need to be more empowered, right? So you know your medication. You aim for healthy weight. There's a lot about weight because this is basically what I help women with without dieting. And as you try to reduce your weight, be mindful of the belly fat. You know, the fat in front there, that's the most dangerous fat because it's right across with all the organs, your heart, your liver, your kidneys. And those are more difficult to manage. And they put you at a higher risk because most people say, oh, my BMI is fine. You know, I'm working. But what about the waist circumference? That's a mark of heart disease. I just want to mention that. Stay hydrated, drink your water. The more dehydration, you actually putting yourself at a greater risk for heart disease. And know the signs and symptoms of heart attack and seek immediate help. I mentioned some for women, men similar, but as I said, the disparity is a little different for each sex. All right, get help. Talk to your doctor about reducing your risk. Have a dialogue with them. Have records. Write your own records and keep your records because that's important. You don't leave everything in the doctor's office. And you may have to work with a dietitian or a nutritionist to help you to overcome some of the issues that you're going through. And that you're being proactive instead of being reactive. So a resilient heart builds thriving body. Just as strong foundations create a flourishing community. We're talking about building communities. So even small lifestyle changes in the diet and the lifestyle can improve your heart health and reduce your risk of heart disease. 30 minutes walking a day maybe can cut your heart disease by 30%. So what are some of the activities that we can do as families, communities? We talk about the physical activity. We can't underestimate the impact of physical activity. Men and women, you're walking, you're jogging, you're swimming, you're cycling, and this is the best time of the year now. It's not hot to say I'm sweaty. Use that time to do some movements, what you like to do. Children, jump rope, dancing, team sports, playing outdoors, family get-togethers, do all those things. As young as the kids are, because now we have a problem with children obesity. And what does it lead us to? So it means their heart condition is going to start earlier rather than waiting for them to be adults, okay? Family fun, heart healthy cooking nights, buddy up with other people, other family members, activities, workplaces. Now, most people spend more time in the workplaces while they're awake than in their home. So make it work for you. And a lot of times the workplaces could be a very stressful place for some employees. So use that time to find, how can I reduce my risk of heart disease while I'm at work? Could probably organize some lunchtime walking groups, meeting standing, or getting up and walking, taking the stairs. Heart healthy snacks in your office. Have a little competition. You may have like a wellness Wednesday when everybody brings something nutritious, no processed food, no junk food, and continue it. That might be something that you want to continue with. Invite health professionals for wellness talks like stress reduction, lunch and learn sessions. Encourage employees to utilize the stairs. Have water breaks. Support healthy meal day during Heart Awareness Month. Churches and civic groups. What are you all doing? Organize wellness challenges like 30 days to healthy heart. Doesn't take much. All it takes is collaboration and the interest. Why are you doing it? And get involved in some activities that you like, that everybody can enjoy. Offer heart healthy meal options at events. You don't want all fast food, processed food. Some people prefer to have something healthier. Create that environment for them. Create support groups for stress management and mental well-being. As was said by Ms. Sawyer, mental health is very, very important, especially now in this environment, post-COVID, everything is coming out and it impacts our heart health, right? Organize group exercises, stress management workshops, educate heart healthy eating and the community gatherings. Host a red dress fashion show. You know what we like to dress up. Have a red dress fashion show. Maybe you could do it around Valentine. Have the two. But the focus could be keeping our hearts healthy. We can dress up, but how do we keep our hearts healthy? Host a fun run walk. Organize health screening sessions to encourage know your numbers concept. Because you may have persons, as I said, they don't have a clue of what the numbers are. So you create that environment, they have screenings, they have documentation, they have the little information that they know now. This is what my numbers are. And be mindful that could be continued. Take it to the family. Utilize social media for heart health tips. Social media, we have everything on social media. How about some heart health tips, especially this month of heart health? And continue it. Because sometimes that one tip can turn somebody else's life around because they're not aware and they can't connect the dots. But that would be one way to connect. In the neighborhoods, community walks, runs, heart health awareness. There's a lot of run walks going now. Go the extra mile, get some material printed. You know we don't like to read, but do social media, put it on your phone and just send links of heart health tips when the fun run walks or wherever, but be mindful that people need to know. So once we know, we can help each one, teach one, right? Outdoor fitness stations in the park. You can offer free CPR heart health workshops at local community. I know in my church we used to do that, get some members who wants to be CPR trained. So where they are, in case there's an emergency, they can now execute CPR instead of waiting for the ambulance, which may be a little late for that person. So I'm just saying those things to sort of expand what else we can do. Is so much. Walking challenge, advocate for accessible parks, green spaces, and wellness programs. Now we have a big issue with security. I don't want to go out. I'm hearing a lot of it. Security. I don't want to go out walking because these parks are not safe. And then you probably can come together and have a safe neighborhood, something, watch or whatever, or go meet in someone's house. But just don't use it as an excuse. Key messages. Heart healthy community starts with you. When you take care of yourself, you inspire and empower others to do the same. Studies show that communities with active lifestyles and supportive environment have lower rates of heart disease. That means we have healthier people and less deaths, right? Your heart is your most vital organ. Remember we talked about the control center? Like the whole center is like the BPL, the whole control center where all the lights come from, right? And it's protecting you, protecting us. You have the power to build a heart-healthy future for yourself and for your community. Let's take that first step today. Are you ready? Are you willing? You can get your family, your workplace, your community involved. Heart health is stronger together when you work together. Commit to spreading awareness. Now, share what you learned today. And I'd like to see some things in the chat. Take the first step today. What one heart-healthy change you will commit to today? Type it in the chat or write it down. And I'd like to make it interactive so we can have an idea that my presentation resonated and someone got something they can take away that they probably were not doing before. Maybe you're doing it. Now, when we prioritize our own heart health, we become role models for our families, our workplaces, communities. We don't just build better bodies. We build better, healthier world. And of course, our cities. Remember, the body is a city. So we have all the infrastructure in place going forward to a healthier future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Roll. Again, thank you so much for creating that analogy that our bodies are cities. And I'd like to go further and say our bodies are temples. And so we have to guard those temples, and we have to make sure that every part of that temple is aligned, is clean, it's healthy, and it's functional. And so, Dr. Rowe, I wrote down a lot of tips that you shared with us today. I wrote down the 4 pillars, and so I'm hoping that everyone else took notes. And you also put out a challenge for us to place what we would have learned or captured from your talk today. Pranishka Lewis wrote, is writing in the chat, going to a park is a challenge for me. So I will use a YouTube video to help me get my steps. And so thank you for that, Nurse Lewis. That's actually a very good point. I know Dr. Rule would have mentioned we're concerned about safety, but in spite of and in the midst of feeling unsafe, we also have alternative options. And YouTube nowadays and social media has provided us with free resources. Gone are the days where we don't have to use the excuse that I can't afford gym membership, right? You can find so many channels on YouTube that you could follow, and you could create a schedule and say, oh, on Monday, I'm gonna work out with this trainer. Tuesday, I'm gonna work out with this trainer. And the workouts vary. It could be anywhere from meditation and breathing and stretching to strength training, like Dr. Roll would have encouraged us to do that twice a week, to walking, to dancing, to doing things like Pilates. You can even find things like mixed martial arts and kickboxing. There are so many options that are available. And someone said, I'm purchasing an affordable treadmill from Temu. All right. So yes, there are other options. So whatever works for your budget, whatever works to keep you accountable, we want to challenge you today to find that method that would keep you accountable and would help you to stay healthy and to make sure that your heart is at its optimal health levels. Dr. Rowe, we received the question in the chat, how do heart attack symptoms differ in women compared to men? I know we would have mentioned that earlier, but can you reiterate that for persons who may have joined the chat or the Facebook Live after we would have started the session?
Yes, that's a very important question. I know I sort of ran through it at some time, but what happens, you may find men tend to have their heart attacks earlier in life compared to women. There's a reason for that, as I mentioned. And I think the question was how it differs. With the man is the typical, the chest pain, they may have shortness of breath, tingling down the arms, and they may have some other issues, sweating excessively. With the women, because of our anatomy, we are different. I said one, after menopause, we know we go through the roller coaster of menopause. What happens, hormones change. A level of estrogen that we got some protection from prior to menopause decreases. And it tends to leave us more open for more heart disease or higher risk of heart disease. So we experience it differently. As I said, sudden dizziness, you're just feeling dizzy. Heartburn-like feelings. Unfortunately, that was my best friend, very good friend, because she was treating herself for indigestion for weeks, not realizing she was on her medication as hypertensive, not realizing that it was heart. She didn't think, I'm a young woman, I didn't think of heart, I just having indigestion. Then you have cold sweat. You may break out in a cold sweat. Some people have extreme tiredness. They're just tired. They just can't catch themselves. No matter what they do, they're just tired. And a lot of times we're not connecting to say, well, is there something wrong, or is it just because I'm working hard? And that's what makes it a little difficult, because based on what your lifestyle is, you're just working it through, and you say, well, it's because I'm working hard. This is happening to me. But now that you know, working hard, yes, start looking at yourself more realistically. That's why I said, know your numbers, what's going on in your life. You want to have more of an intimate relationship with yourself. It's like what I do, you listen to your body. Food is your information. Now the symptoms are going to be telling you something. Make sure you go and get it checked with your doctor. And if you're not happy, sometimes you may have to find second opinions. because one of the problems I noticed with some of the women who are very overweight, they're sort of passed over, not passed over, but they're not sort of taken too seriously in the healthcare setting because they just say, oh, you're overweight. But underneath, what's happening? So you may need to get a second opinion to really get to the bottom of why am I feeling this? Why am I always tired? I can't catch. I'm nauseous. Sometimes you just vomit. So everyone is different. So what might be particular to you, peculiar to you? Find that. We are beautifully and wonderfully made, as Chandra said. We have a temple to look after. So I hope that answers your question. I went a little long, but I wanted to make sure that you understand the question that you asked.
Thank you for being thorough and explaining those symptoms. And then I just also want to reiterate too, in Dr. Rolle's sharing those symptoms, we are recording the session today. And so if you are viewing the session on Facebook Live, you can always go back and rewatch the session. You can also share the session too with your groups, with your family members, your friends, so that those persons who may not be watching the session live can also go back and watch it. We're also going to be posting the recording on our YouTube channel, and so you have one or two options or mediums to go back and re-listen and rewatch today's recording. We have a question. Well, we have a statement, Doc, and your challenge has been accepted. Someone else mentioned the park is a challenge for me too. I don't do it all the time, but I walk a lot. So walking is also good, like Dr. Rolle would have mentioned. And so some of Dr. Rolle's heart healthy tips for building heart healthy communities, one included a step challenge, all right, and making time to take the stairs. So if you're at work and you find that you're sitting down all day, be sure to set an alarm reminder where you can get up every hour and walk around. We are in the month of love. Here at the National Health Insurance Authority, Doc, I want to put a plug out there for our team. We are currently engaged in a Love Yourself Squat Challenge. And so for the rest of this month, every hour while our staff is at work, we're encouraging them to squat 10 times every hour while they're at work. That's from 8 to 5 p.m. And at the end of the challenge, we're going to award those associates that would have participated actively for the duration of the challenge, which is for a month. And so that's an incentive, that's an idea that we can put out there. And as it relates to building heart healthy communities, it may not be a squat challenge, but if you want to encourage your colleagues to walk, a lot of persons nowadays have what's called fitness watches or smart watches. So you can track your steps, you can create that healthy and heart-friendly competitions amongst your colleagues, your family, and your friends. Nurse Lewis also said that is such an important statement that you made. If you're overweight, sometimes your concerns are dismissed because you are overweight. So I think that's a statement that you would have mentioned, Dr. Rolle, in explaining the symptoms as it related to heart attack and heart disease.
Yes, because that is important. I just did a chapter as part of a book. It was a collaborative book. My chapter was on, is your weight keeping you invisible? And in my research to compile a chapter, there was so much information relevant to how women are treated. They have different sections, but especially when it comes to being seen, because you're basically invisible to social media. You know, your weight just put you in that category. And it was interesting to find out the different ways women are marginalized. And interesting, but not very good to find out, even in the medical and healthcare settings, they are marginalized. And that creates another domino effect on our health. So thank you for that observation. Yes. So that's another reason why we have to be a lot more self-aware and seek out where you can get the support. Just don't stay, because a lot of them just go into the shell, it sort of pushes them down instead of being elevated. So we want you to become visible. What can I do? So that is part of the chapter I had to do for the collaborative book last year.
That definitely does exist, yes.
Yes.
And so it's important for us to create a level of a level of awareness. And so, Dr. Rolle, I also want to put a plug, well, add to what you would have just stated. It's important too when in building relationship with the right provider. Not every provider is going to be for the same person, and so take time. Dr. Rolle would have mentioned it in some of her tips to keep your own records and to write down your information, journal your health habits, journal your health symptoms. And so when you have an opportunity to meet with different providers, it's the term second opinion was not formulated just for us to overlook. So you may meet with a provider, you may not be comfortable. It's always good to seek the second opinion of another provider who may take that time to listen and investigate and give you the medical assistance that you rightfully deserve. If we have any other questions for Dr. Rolle, I still welcome the opportunity for you to place those questions in the chat. Dr. Rolle, those tips that you would have given us today as it relates to building healthy communities, those tips were applicable to our families. They were applicable to our workplaces. I know you would have mentioned our churches and civic organizations. And so I'm hoping that everyone that's on the call, we all operate in different spheres of our lives. And so in the sphere that you find that you're most comfortable in, we encourage you to take the charge and take the challenge as mandated by Dr. Rolle and create that heart healthy community in that sphere or that sector of your life.
If I can add something to, I did mention, when you put it out there, you tend to be more committed. So maybe in one word, what can I do based on what I heard? If it resonated with you, one word you can write. This is what I'm going to do, right? A word or a sentence or a phrase. But put it in the chat, because when you put it there, you're more likely to follow up rather than keeping in your head, I will do this, I will do that. And the I will just evaporates. But when you put it right, it's more concretized and you're more likely to follow up. And then you can get an accountability buddy as well.
Yeah.
Hold each other accountable. If you know you have issues and you need some support, identify someone, friend, family, co-worker, and hold each other accountable so you can manage and make those changes, because you want in the next 3, 6 months, a year, your life should be in a better place based on what you're going to do. Because we have choices and they're all lifestyle management issues. So I just wanted to add to that. Chandra, thanks.
Thank you to Dr. Rolle. All right, so I think that may be it for our questions, Dr. Rolle. And so I'd like to take this time, Dr. Rolle, on behalf of the National Health Insurance Authority, as well as on behalf of the Bahamas and our beneficiaries and the public at large. And we want to thank you for your time this afternoon, for sharing some very practical tips on how we can create heart-healthy communities, how we can build heart-healthy communities. Thank you for sharing with us the 4 pillars of health, and thank you for helping us identify those risk factors. Thank you for creating a level of awareness as it relates to our heart health. And so we're hoping that as we seek to build healthy communities, seek to build healthier cities, that the information that we would have received today would definitely resonate with us and help to make a difference throughout our country and our world.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Rolle, you're very welcome.
I hope I've got something to take away.
Yes. And so as Dr. Rolle would have challenged us, you're still welcome to place your accountability action or your affirmation in the chat. Like something that you are going to, a goal that you're going to set for yourself to help you to become better as it relates to your health and wellness journey to preserve our heart health. Here at the National Health Insurance Authority, we have so many opportunities, wellness opportunities for you to look forward to. And so on the second Thursday of the month, we encourage you and we invite you to join us for our monthly complimentary Power Hour workout. Our workouts are held at the Holy Cross Anglican Church in their parish hall from 6 to 7 p.m. All right. Our second wellness initiative is our monthly beneficiary educational session, and they're often held on a virtual platform. And there are some opportunities where we present a face-to-face educational session. And so we encourage you to follow us on our social media channels where you can find information on what's happening for the month and the session that we will host. On the fourth Thursday of the month, we encourage you to join us here at our headquarters. We're located on East Street and Purpose Way. And we encourage you to join and shop locally at our farmers market. Our first farmers market will be held on Thursday, February 27th from 12 to 3 p.m. We want to encourage you to come, and you can stop on by and purchase lunch from our lunch vendor that will be on property. You can also indulge and treat yourself to a chair massage, and then also you can shop and support our local Bahamian businesses that would offer products that are produced organically here in the Bahamas. If you save the date for our next Power Hour for the month of February would have already passed last week, but save the date for Thursday, March 13th for our Power Hour for the month of March. Should you need to contact us if you have any questions as it relates to our session today, if you are a beneficiary and you have any questions as it relates to our benefits package, or maybe being reassigned to a new provider, feel free to contact us via email at info@nhibahamas.gov.bs. Feel free to contact us via telephone, 396-8500. You can follow us and like us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter. And we're on those platforms as NHI Bahamas. And then we have a WhatsApp line, a newly added WhatsApp line. And so you can reach us Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. via WhatsApp at 813-2801. We want to thank you again for your time. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your level of engagement. And we hope that this session was very valuable and insightful for you. And feel free to go back on Facebook, go back on our YouTube channel, and share the video content with your family members, your friends, and your colleagues. And we want to encourage you to build that heart-healthy community at home, at school, at work, at church, and amongst your civic organizations. Like Dr. Rolle would have said, heart disease is the #1 killer worldwide for persons. And then she also added a tagline: it is preventable due to our lifestyle choices. And so we hope that you take that reminder with you and you allow that to help you to make a difference in the life of your heart and your health. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Sandra, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
I just saw a text. They couldn't find the link. Could you put the link for your Facebook? So I want to direct her where she can listen to this.
Okay. I can share it.
You can probably share it.
I can share it too. Yeah, I can share it with you. Yes. I'll send it to you offline if that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
Disappointed.
But if they're in the meantime, they can also, when they go on Facebook, they can type in NHI Bahamas and it would come right up. But I'll also share the link with you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful Monday. Take care.